but not according to knowledge. Well, now we have knowledge, we recognize we don't need the suit, we don't need the Crocs, we don't need any of that. All we need is the word. David said, thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against thee. So this word is what's going to take us through. The only thing we need to make sure that we are intact with is making sure that we have a beard and that you are wearing fringes. You see, it's important that we carry those things.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
I had, for me with this book, I had it here. It's in Baruch 4.
Yes, sir.
That's what I used to read. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endureth forever. All they keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. That's the one for me.
We read that in the beginning.
Yeah, that's the one for me. In Proverbs, I'm not so much. I need to get to. But I got it as a.
But the congregation of the dead, the reason why that's so important, because that ties into Ezekiel chapter 37. There's a whole lot of dead going on there. You see? All right, let's receive an offering, and we can do that expeditiously.
Even though the precepts about darkness, of Israel being in darkness, all that the congregation of the dead, right? Because remember, the Yahweh had separated northern kingdom first from him, so they were in darkness. They were dead.
And when were they taken, by the way? When was the northern kingdom taken? Well, what year?
Oh, yeah, because it said they didn't keep it.
I mean, I just need the date, Doc. The other stuff that you're giving me, I don't really need
that. I didn't want to go here, but because I want to do that thing.
What you got for me, sir?
Was it 723 BC? No, that's when they came here.
722.
722 BC.
Yeah, that's it. I remember, 722. But I should have remembered that, but I never did that.
The reason why I push on the dates is because you may be thankful for that later on. Because when you're dealing with Mr. Willie Wise, Mr. Willie Wise, he's impressed with your scripture, but when you start to drop some historical archaeology out on him, he shuts right up because he knows this man is not a woman. It's not just versed in this book. They're versed in world history.
That's right.
And a person doesn't want to deal with you because they know that you have stepped into a rank that's possibly higher than themselves. So dates are important. Don't mistreat them.
Write that in 2nd Esdras chapter 13 and 40. Write that in 2nd Esdras chapter 13, verse 40, 722 BC. 722 BC.
Go ahead and read.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras chapter 13, verse 40 on page 31. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osei, the king, whom Salamansar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they might keep their commandments, keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. Right?
Right, jump to 52, please.
Verse 52, it reads, and he said unto me, like as thou canst neither seek out nor know the things that are in the deep of the sea, even so can no man upon the earth see my son, or those that be with him, but in the daytime. Wow. What's that precept? Worketh in the day? Worketh in the day, worketh in the day, worketh in the day.
I work the work of him that sent me, whilst in the day, for the night comes.
Yes.
Say again?
I know I saw it earlier, I know I saw it earlier.
John
verse
9.
4. There it is. Yeah, I saw it earlier when I was reading verse 5. That's why I said, that's what popped in my head when I said precept. No one can see the Son. It says in John 9, John 9, chapter 4, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work.
That used to be a Sunday school thing. That's why I remember it from childhood. Let's tie that in with Second
Esdras chapter 13, verse 52. And he said unto me, like as thou canst neither seek out nor know the things that are in the deep of the sea, even so can no man upon earth see my son or those that be with him, but in the daytime. Oh, praises.
But in the daytime, you know what that's referring to? Go ahead.
Please. That's dealing with when the day of Yahweh after when we go into the kingdom.
Make it a little bit more plain than that. It's quite vague, though. That can be.
Okay. When all things are said and done, and the kingdom is now arrived upon the earth.
Yeah. Well, remember, there's a portion that said it shall be light in the evening time. Right. And why is that? Because there will be a glory in the kingdom that will be so great to us. It will feel like we are living in a day. And that's why the scripture keeps alluding back to, as 1,000 years is a day unto the Lord, so is a blah, 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 you know. One day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. So that day that it's speaking about is the day that we're reading here, where it says that be with him, but in the daytime. That day, watch it, sir. Daytime. Daytime. A day is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is a day. Daytime. That's what that's referring to. Right. Bit of a play on words, but still. Yes, sir.
Yeah, question.
Yes, sir.
You know, when the Christian church say that balls are done away with, they're talking about the Ten Commandments, right? They're talking about the 600.
Yeah, the Christian church is always talking about the 10 Commandments. That's why Creflo Dollar opens his big trap and says that you mustn't follow the Big Ten.
Right.
But without the commandments, you can't make it. We read it.
That's great. That makes sense.
Exactly. Brooke chapter 4:1 makes it very, very clear. We just read it in Proverbs. You have to follow the command. You have to. There's only one commandment that has been, they say, put away, but it's not put away. It's put on pause.
That's right.
And the reason why we have to understand that word, because that's why earlier on I was going to go to Ephesians and talk about the blotting out, but I didn't want to convolute the teacher. I wanted to keep it on the straight line. But here's what we have to understand about that is that when it comes to the law and the kingdom, the sacrificial law that was put on pause, that sacrificial law is going to be reenacted again in the kingdom. And it has to be, because all of Israel won't need to do that, because the laws will be in us. It will be our complete being. When our babies are born, the laws are in the child. The child will grow knowing exactly what the law is and what it says, because that law will give them power. You see? But the rest of the nations, they will still live. And they will still have the propensity to do wrong like all men. They're not us. We won't do no wrong. We will be righteous. But they will have the propensity to do wrong. And therefore, they will need a sacrifice to prepare them before they come and worship the Most High God. They will need it. They can't come any other way. To come to come without your garment cleansed, you'll be killed. And there are many in the kingdom age who will come. That's what is nonsense. They say, come as you are. That's garbage. You can't come as you are.
That's right.
Because the scripture also warns us that it's your job to make your election an election sure. And how do you do it? You make sure you're putting on the right garment. And what is the right garment? All of this. And where do we put it on? In here. That's why David said, thy word have I hid in my heart. Heart meaning your mind. See?